previous video I released about a week ago now, where we talked about women's milestones and what they really mean. If you could go check out that video, it's an amazing video. I'm really proud of that video, and I love that video, and I love you guys. Thanks for supporting me. Thank you so much. And then today we are going to be taking another look in that same vicinity, that same area of information where women concentrate a lot on these milestones. They will concentrate on their life during these milestones. And if they are not at a certain point that they feel like, emphasis on the word feel, that they feel like they should be, they will put a lot of power into certain ages. And some of these ages are the ages of 30, 40, 50, all those big ages, sometimes 25, 35, 45, 55. They will put finish lines on those ages and say, well, if I'm not doing this by this age, then something's wrong and I need to change everything. And a lot of times when they make those changes, a lot of times the men are caught in the crosshairs and they are monkey branched on during the relationship. These women get hit up in the DMs by other random men and they end up monkey branching. And that's why you have so many women divorced at 30.
I told myself that I wasn't going to talk about my divorce online because I wanted to respect people's privacy, but I feel like I'm going insane. I have been separated from my soon-to-be ex-wife for less than a month. And it is just after obstacle, and I appreciate all the love and support that I am getting from my friends, from my family, from people who barely know me, from my lawyers. I'm grateful. But what I think people don't realize is if you are not in the divorce, so all my friends and my family, whatever, their lives continue. And I'm over here drowning, struggling to breathe, crying all the time, feeling so angry, feeling like this 24/7. And my life has to continue too. And I'm getting up in the morning and I'm doing the best I can because that's life. I'm a 30-year-old, I'm an adult, I have a big girl job. That's just how it works. But I feel like I am screaming and I'm back here screaming and everybody else has continued walking forward and they can't hear me anymore. And it's not their fault. The anger that I feel right now is not their fault.
Divorce isn't very fun, is it? This is what you don't see a lot about divorce. You see it from the other woman's side. She is in a same woman-woman relationship. So you're hearing it from the other side now. And it's not a very fun thing. Men do not like getting divorced. Divorcing a woman is never going to be fun. Men do not get married to get divorced for fun. And I would advise any man out there to never get married. It's just a lose situation all around. Everything ends up drying up. Your money, the funds, the assets, once the woman takes them. It's bad for a man all around. And this individual decided to get married. She thought that it would be the greatest thing to get a wife. And now the wife is doing what ex-wives do. This ex-wife is doing what ex-wives are known for. Congratulations. You blew it.
I just want this to be done. I want this to be over because I feel like I'm losing my mind.
You are.
And each day there's a new thing that I have to deal with.
That's how they do it. Unlimited stress.
And getting divorced from a person who has become a version of themselves that I do not like.
A living nightmare.
That I do not recognize.
Men know this all too often. They see it.
Is so heartbreaking.
It's horrible. It's a bad situation.
It's heartbreaking because I'm married to this person for a reason. I love this person. When me and this person got married, we discussed if we were ever going to get divorced, we were going to do it in the most amicable way possible.
They always say that. They always say
I tried my very
the
best.
backstabbing
And maybe
begins.
She's also trying her best.
No.
But her best isn't good enough. And maybe my best isn't good enough for her, but
No. Wrong again.
I need my therapist.
You're gonna need
Or a
something.
punch.
This individual is gonna need something. That's for 100%. During divorces, I don't know if you guys know this, during divorces, wives, soon to be ex-wives, will do whatever they can to ruin a man's life. They want him to go down. They do not care what they need to do. I can only imagine it's the same type of situation in relationships like this, where this ex-wife is just as bitter as any ex-wife would be, and she is willing, it looks like she's able to take this person down. Never get married. Stay single. Trust me, it's worth it.
So you probably noticed a lot of people in their 30s getting divorced lately, so let's talk about it. Now, a majority of my clients, yes, are women, but I will say this. They are very consistent across the board as to why they are getting a divorce. And I pretty much have a theory to what is numbers. And I pretty much have a theory to what has caused this to happen in such big numbers to people 30s and up. Growing up, we were told as women to sit down and be quiet, do what the man says. And we were really just told that, oh, marriage is hard, suck it up. Men were told, don't talk about your feelings, they don't matter, go to work and come home and provide. That's what you need to do. So what this created was a lot of women 30s and up who don't even have an identity because they don't know who they are other than being a mom and a wife. And they were really told not to even be themselves, to be all these other identities that people wanted them to be, including their husband. And then it created a lot of men who are completely incapable of having a mature conversation or communicating correctly because they don't know how to process their emotions or even talk about them, so they just hold them in and it comes out in anger and they end up gaslighting you. So take these women who were told to sit down, shut up, and serve their husbands, and that's what they're supposed to do, and take them finding their true self and identity in their 30s and their voice and their confidence, and add that to men who are still the same, the men in these situations that are still the same, and it's a recipe for disaster. You have one person changing and growing, and you have somebody else who is still unwilling to admit they need to change and grow. The reason you see a lot of divorces now is because those people are truly finding who they are and being their authentic self, and they can't beat that with somebody who has refused to change. And that's why, because of how we were raised.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
You blew it.
Let me go ahead and decipher this video for you fellas. I know you probably zoned out. You really don't know what she's saying. Let me tell you exactly what she's saying. So women like this that are married with kids, what's the issue is that these women are now able to divorce rob these men. Also at the same time, the children are now old enough to stay with grandma and grandpa while these women go and live out their 304 summers version 2.0. Electric Boogaloo, uncensored. They get the itch and they can't help but scratch. And it happens in the 30s. It happens in a lot of women in their 30s, and they will justify it as, my favorite excuse are, they grew apart. One of them was unwilling to change. There were a lot of insecurities. There were ongoing issues. You can write a novel with some of the things these women say. Emotional intelligence. It is, oh man, I enjoy it. I enjoy the narrative of these women. You can see the wheels in their head spinning, and they're desperate to rationalize any and all feelings that they feel and have them validated online. It is such an amazing thing to watch in person. And I am one thing I can say though is I do feel sorry for these men. I feel sorry for any man who's having to divorce women like this, who think that they are so entitled. And even when these women cheat and they go online and they start hitting up random dudes on Instagram and they start going over to their houses and hooking up and stuff, even with all this activity, these women still get 50%. No fault divorce, boom, 50% every time. Irreconcilable differences, boom, 50%. Take half the house. Well, actually, usually the women get the house because they have custody of the kids, so they need the house. But kick the man out the house. You get everything now. You're the winner.
What the f is this piece of sh?
Divorced for my second time at age 30, I went kicking and screaming. Actually, I went over to my girlfriend's house to complain for the 100th time about the things my husband was doing that I didn't like. And she so boldly said to me, "Maybe it's you." And I was like, excuse me? I'm sure that it's him. But she got into my head and I thought, well, maybe I should go to a therapist. And the therapist can say that it's him. So we went to this man, Lewis Quimby. Lewis Quimby was 73. He had been in practice for over 30 years. And when I tell you he was scary, he was terrifying. In this session, we got to the root of a few things. One, my husband at the time, zero interest in changing. Me, totally codependent and only willing to change if he was. Except then Lewis got in my head. At the end of the session, he invites us to his group therapy session. And my husband immediately says no, looks at me and says, well, you can go alone. On the drive home from that therapy session, when I tell you everything was blurry as fuck, I was crying, my head was on the window, I was in such victim mode. Who is going to save me from this? Somehow, some way, within a few days, I decided that I was going to go to group therapy alone.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
These women are not just all of a sudden thinking in a car ride on their way home that they're in victim mode. They are constantly the victim in a lot of their own narratives and a lot of their own stories. This woman has an issue with her second marriage and, well, it's not working out for her. She's not getting everything she needs. She is codependent, so is what she says, and he is unwilling to change. What is he having to change is what I would ask. Why are you marrying men that need changing, that need to be changed? Something I said in previous videos, men throughout the years don't change that much. If you are getting involved with a man that you think you need to change, then you're doing it wrong, I would assume. I would never involve myself in a woman's life that has a lot of things that I think I need to change about her. That's not how any of this works. You're delusional. You're fooling yourself if you think that's how relationships work. So this man didn't want to change. He obviously didn't want to go to therapy because it's a scam that did a number on this woman. But let's figure out how this is. Let's find out how this ends.
What I did. For 6 months, every Wednesday at 5:30, I went to group therapy with Lewis Quimby and 6 other people where he drilled into me things like, you need to make agreements in your relationships. Here are the 5 categories: sex, power, money, words, and feelings. If you do not have agreements in those places, you are going with the person who has the strongest opinion. You need to understand how you got your needs met. When he asked me the question, how did you learn to get your needs met? It took me 2 months to answer. When he asked me the question, what are your requirements in a relationship? It took me 3 months to answer. But within 6 months, I firmly decided I will be getting a divorce. 4 years I was single after that, practicing my requirements while dating, to the point where I would have them in the door and out the door within a week. It made me so strong and so ready to actually have a marriage. Now I've been married for 10 years.
She's obsessed with this guy until she figures out he needs to change. How does this guy feel knowing that his wife of 10 years is online and saying that she had men in and out the door multiple times a week, raw dogging her, and now he got the prize, right? He obtained the prize for being the good guy. The good guys finished last. Well, he was last in line. He got you. Why did you marry this other guy in the first place is my question. Well, we felt like you needed to change everything about him, and it took you so many months to just define you and your ex-husband's relationship. Why were you even with him is my question. These are questions that will never be answered by these women. These women never tell us why they choose the men they choose. All they do is play the victim and say, oh, this is my reality and those men need to change, and if they don't change, then I can't be the true princess and I can't manifest all of my wants and desires because of him. They're always the victim. The man is the one that needs to change, not her. It's never the woman that needs any type of changing. The woman is perfect, and if you don't accept her for who she is, then you are any number of words that end with IST, and it happens all the time. And this is online. Women are posting this online for other women to see. So there is no doubt in my mind that other women are seeing this and be like, you know what? I've been divorced 3 times, but he hasn't changed, so something needs to change. I'm reaching this age and I deserve better than this. I don't need to put up with this anymore. Men do not make videos like this and post them online. You will never see multiple men, for that matter, post videos like this. This is the worst. All I can say is that I'm glad she is away from that man. He probably deserved a lot better than what she was giving him. It seems like she found herself a nice little simp to latch on to because she's this codependent person. That's how she describes it, not me. She said she was codependent, so she's codependent on these simps to keep her afloat. She said she had multiple simps in and out of her door multiple times a week, and then she was able to find her perfect dream husband. I'm sure that whenever she hits another milestone, there won't be something about him that he'll need to change at that point. But let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.